Have you ever looked at someone else's life and wished you could trade places? It's a common occurrence, this act of self-comparison. We examine others and wish we had their looks, their talents, their luck. But this often leads to a spiral of unhappiness. Why? Because no one's life is perfect and every color has its own shade of problems. To illustrate this, I'm going to share with you a tale. Let's delve into the story of an unhappy crow who thought the grass was always greener on the other side. Once upon a time, there was a crow, black as night, who was deeply unhappy with his life. This crow looked at his dark feathers and couldn't help but feel a sense of despair. He believed his blackness was the root of his unhappiness. He was convinced that no one liked him because of his color, that no one wanted a crow as a pet, that he was doomed to a life of scavenging for food in the garbage. He was deeply unhappy with the life he was given. "Why did I have to be a crow?" he would often lament. Then one day he crossed paths with a wise monk. The monk noticed the crow's sorrow and asked him why he was crying. The crow shared his plight with the monk, expressing his dissatisfaction with his life as a crow. The monk listened patiently and then asked the crow what he wished to be instead. Without a second thought, the crow expressed his desire to be a swan. "A white swan," he said. "What a beautiful color white is, a symbol of peace." The monk nodded. "I will make you a swan," he said, "but before that I want you to meet a swan. Go and see its life firsthand." The crow, surprised but hopeful, agreed to the monk's request. He was eager to meet the swan, to see what a life of beauty and peace looked like. He believed that meeting the swan would give him a glimpse of the happiness he so longed for. In his heart, the crow carried a seed of hope. He was about to embark on a journey of self-discovery, not knowing what lay ahead. Little did he know this journey would change his perspective on life and happiness. And so the crow set off to meet the swan, hopeful for a glimpse of a happier life. Upon meeting the swan, the crow was taken aback by the swan's own discontent. The crow, in its monochrome melancholy, had believed the swan to be the epitome of beauty and happiness. But the swan had a different story to tell. "You see," began the swan, ruffling its pristine white feathers, "I'm not as content as you imagine. This white color, it's nothing more than a symbol of lifelessness. It's the color of the cold winter, of the desolate moon. It's even the color of the coffin. It's not a color of joy or vibrancy, it's a color of emptiness." The swan sighed, a ripple of sadness spreading across the serene lake. The crow was stunned. It had never thought about it that way. In its quest to be something else, it had failed to see the dissatisfaction in others. "So what would you like to be?" the crow asked, curiosity piqued. The swan didn't hesitate. "A parrot," it declared. "Oh, what a life that must be, to be adorned in a riot of colors, to have the ability to mimic human speech. Parrots are loved, they are cherished, they are kept as companions, not shunned like us." The crow could see the longing in the swan's eyes. It was not so different from its own. As they set off to find a parrot, the crow couldn't help but wonder if the grass was truly greener on the other side, or if it was just an illusion born out of discontent. They journeyed through the dense jungle, their hearts filled with curiosity and apprehension. What would the parrot say? Would it be as happy as they imagined? Or would it, too, harbor a desire to be something else? The journey continued as the crow and the swan ventured to meet the colorful parrot. But little did they know the parrot had its own tale to tell, a tale that would further shatter their preconceived notions of happiness. But that's a story for another time. For now, let's ponder over the swan's story, a stark reminder that discontent can find a home in the most unexpected places. The parrot, vibrant and lively, also had a tale of discontent to share. With feathers of vivid green and a touch of red, the parrot was a spectacle of nature's artistry. Yet beneath this brilliant exterior he harbored a deep dissatisfaction. He lamented, "My color, is it really beautiful? It's the same as the jungle, the leaf, the tree. You were searching for me for a long time, but you could not find me because of my color. I blend in, I disappear. Where is the joy in that?" A sigh escaped from his beak as he continued, "People do like to have parrots as pets, and yes, we can mimic human speech, but is that all there is to my existence? Is my worth only in my ability to repeat words I barely understand?" His eyes, usually gleaming with lively curiosity, now reflected a disquieting sadness. "If I had a choice," he confessed, "I would like to be a peacock. What a creature! Its feathers are a spectacle, and when it dances, it's a sight to behold. People admire it, they take photographs, they wait eagerly for it to spread its feathers. That's the kind of life I desire." The crow and the swan listened in silence, feeling a strange kinship with the parrot. They too had wished to be someone else, to have a different life. They too had looked upon another creature and felt a pang of envy, a desire to be in their place. They understood the parrot's discontent all too well. After a moment of reflection, the crow finally spoke. "Then let's go meet this peacock. Let's hear his story. Maybe, just maybe, we will find the answers we seek." With growing curiosity, the crow, the swan, and the parrot set off to meet the magnificent peacock. The peacock, the epitome of beauty and grace, had his own set of troubles. Just imagine a peacock with its vibrant hues and breathtaking plumage feeling discontent. It may seem absurd, but let's delve into it. The peacock, with his regal bearing and brilliant colors, was the object of everyone's admiration. When he unfurled his tail, people would stop in their tracks and marvel at his beauty. When he danced, the world would stand still, captivated by his performance. Yet the peacock was not happy. He was in fact burdened with the weight of his beauty. He was more than just a spectacle to be admired. He was a living being with his own thoughts, desires, and feelings. But all anyone ever cared about was his appearance. The constant attention was overwhelming, and it often robbed him of his peace and solitude. Moreover, he was always expected to be in the mood to display his plumage, to dance and entertain. But there were days when all he wanted was to be left alone, to not have to perform for anyone. Yet the world didn't care about his feelings. They wanted the spectacle, the beauty, and they were disappointed if he didn't deliver. And then there was the fear of losing his beauty, his status. What would happen if one day his brilliant colors faded or his beautiful tail lost its feathers? Would he still be admired, or would he be cast aside, forgotten and ignored? These thoughts haunted him, adding to his distress. The peacock, despite his beauty and the admiration he received, was unhappy. He was trapped in a gilded cage of expectations and fear. He yearned for understanding, for acceptance, not for his beauty, but for who he was beneath the feathers and the colors. How ironic it is, how each creature, each being, is unhappy with its lot, always aspiring to be someone else, always yearning for what we don't have. Each creature in its own way was unhappy with its lot, always aspiring to be someone else. In the end, the crow, the swan, the parrot, and the peacock all learned a valuable lesson. A lesson that resonates with each one of us, a lesson about self-comparison and its futile pursuit of happiness. Each creature, in their quest for what they believed was better, overlooked their own unique qualities. The crow, with his striking black feathers, yearned for the swan's serene white. The swan, though admired for its elegance, envied the parrot's vibrant colors. The parrot, known for its ability to mimic human speech, longed for the peacock's dazzling display. And the peacock, despite its magnificent plumage, felt burdened by the attention it drew. The irony of it all? Each one of them thought someone else had it better. They all failed to realize that every creature, every individual, has its own set of problems. Each one of them was unique in their own way, facing unique challenges. The grass always seems greener on the other side, but the reality is often quite different. This tale of the crow, swan, parrot, and peacock teaches us a profound lesson: the dangers of self-comparison. It only leads to discontent, eroding our self-esteem and preventing us from appreciating our own worth. So remember, never compare yourself to anyone else. You are unique with your own set of qualities and challenges. Embrace them, for they make you who you are.